Hello, and welcome to the podcast Carcast, episode number 5, I do believe.
I think so.
I think, because they've all been less than an hour, and the free SoundCloud only gives you like 4 hours.
Yeah,
so...
we ran through that. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
5.
5.
Sorry for the last 2 weeks, everybody. We had some
stuff going on.
difficulties.
If we were any official studio, we would have rescheduled this, but as we are both busy college students, not really.
Yeah, not so much.
Unfortunately.
So...
Okay. For any of you watching this in the future, this is Tuesday, October 18th, I believe.
Let me check the little fizz zone real quick.
Little fizzy
what are we at? We are at October 18th.
October 18th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Podcast October 18th.
Yes.
And it is a wonderful, douchebaggy podcast, Carcast. Because I'm wearing a bro tank in a video.
Okay.
Because I'm going to the gym later.
Sun's out, guns out, too.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out.
There you go.
Oh! I just flashed my guns. Hope I have a license. Okay.
Oh, do you have a license to carry?
I have a license. I have a concealed carry, which is why no one can see my muscles. Okay. Okay, so first topic of random stuff we're talking about. Not topical, but random stuff.
Go ahead.
Thoughts that I've had. Have you ever had purchases that you've made rationalize other purchases? And now let me elaborate. Let me elaborate for people still confused at home. I once last year around this time, Fallout 4 came out, and I was like, I don't want to spend the full $60 on Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steam has spoiled me. I'm used to spending $20, $30 or less
for thousands of games.
For thousands of games, so many games.
Yes, of course.
And then my sister was like, "Let's go shopping," and I was like, "Okay, I'll go shopping." And so we went to good old H&M.
Mm-hmm.
Good old H&M. Bought some nice pairs of jogger sweatpants that I really liked. Bought a nice hoodie.
Good.
Total ended up coming out like $70, and I was just like, if I'm willing to spend $70 on just on fucking clothes, then I'm obviously willing to spend $60 on Fallout, and so I did.
Did you immediately
literally, I had the money. I wanted to save it, but I had the this disposable income. But I just went, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get a lot more enjoyment out of this game than I will out of these clothes. And I did. It came out like beginning of November. I bought it like second day it came out.
Oh gosh.
Burned through it. By the end of November, I hadn't played it until maybe a month ago because I just burned out. I clocked in 150 hours in 1 month of playtime. It was all I did. It was everything that I did was Fallout 4 for an entire 1/12 of the year.
Oh my!
I was just like, oh man.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I killed him. So yeah, that's just what I'm saying, but I'll do that some other times. I feel like companies try and get you to do this because they're just like, hey, for a cup of coffee, you can support us for a whole month. Sometimes it's $5 a month. They're like, hey, for 1 cup of coffee, the price of 1 cup of coffee, you can support us for a whole month. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
Something's just is there something online that I'm like, I want to buy this. I want to get enjoyment out of this. Blah 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 blah. It's only $6, and especially if it's or if it's $3 on the App Store. You're like, $3 on the App Store.
Hold
what am I made of money? Jesus
God, I'm
Christ.
not a millionaire.
What is going on? And so I'll just be there at the App Store, and then all of a sudden I'll be just like, yeah, I'll get the sandwich for $6, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm buying the app.
I'm getting the app.
Okay, so now that I've explained purchases,
I don't know. I don't think I've made giant purchases like that.
Like $60 giant?
Oh, I've made.
Okay, I was just like, what kind of giant?
I spent. Oh, hold on, I can do this.
Okay.
Let me think. I spent a fair amount of money on 4 pairs of shoes within 2 weeks. I've only worn them 10 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even like really worn them.
Oh, okay.
So I could
broken them in.
no, because I could register in my mind like, oh, I'm gonna look good in these. What outfits do I wear? I can wear this. Done. And then I'm like, oh, I can wear these. What outfits can I wear these? Ooh, done. So I mean that and video games, but
yeah,
I mean
that's
video
an
games.
entirely different
that's a whole other subject
Yeah.
down the road. That's another apple falling from the tree that I'm not willing to pick up yet.
Yes.
So I think it's just shoes.
I meant to say it's a whole different animal, but I like that you ran with the whole different apple just because I flubbed that line.
I got you.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it.
I saw it. I'm like, here we go.
It's good to know that you're there for me.
I got you. Just
It's a whole different apple. Yep, I'm not ready to pick up that apple yet. Oh, thank God.
oh
Okay,
my
cool.
God, he went with it.
Entirely different apple. Okay.
Question.
T-shirt idea.
T-shirt idea. Don't pick up the apple yet.
Entirely different apple.
How
It's
is
a picture of
Uniqlo?
an orange.
Yes.
Okay, so Uniqlo actually hasn't opened yet because they're just
okay.
like, it'll be better to fit in with our fall line if we push it back a month. So it's actually opening
October 30th.
next Friday, the 28th. I signed up for this thing because I am subscribed to the Frugal Male Fashion subreddit, even though I am not frugal nor am I fashionable.
I thought you were going to say not male. I was like, hey,
in
this year,
what do I identify?
you can be whatever
Did you
you want.
assume my gender?
I
okay,
did. Triggered.
Okay, and it was just like, hey, if anyone wants to come out on the 27th, we're having this thing, 21 and up, there will be alcohol. It's kind of like an early
Release.
like an early release for the store. It's from like 6 to 8. I signed up yesterday. It's not like something that's like guaranteed. It's just like, hey, everyone who signs up who wants to go to this thing, if you we'll be picking from a list of people that sign up, and then you can come.
Well, I hope you're able to go to the early release.
Yeah.
I want a full rundown of the store.
That would be great. I probably work during that day, and don't want to call out sick.
No, you need
again. Called out sick on Saturday because I went to an open mic with some friends. But it wasn't. It was something that I called out that I was like planning a week in advance. Like there were a couple guys even at the job that I was like, yeah, so I'm not gonna be around Saturday. And they're just like, yeah, okay. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
All right, cool.
And so like literally morning, I just texted my boss, hey, I'm feeling a little sick, and he's just like, okay, feel better. I'm like, that was the easiest.
We're good.
Easiest call out I've ever had.
Yeah.
See, I'm the different way with shoes. Like
Really?
I'm not one of those guys who's just like the guy who buys like the white tennis shoes, like the bulky white tennis shoes, and then he's just like, what is fashion? Like he's just like, why would I wear anything else than these things that haven't been in style for the last 35 years?
I can see that.
I care about like buying nice shoes,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll be like, I'll just like buy like 3 pairs of nice shoes, and I'll just be like, okay, so these are like dress shoes, these are like summer shoes, and these I am going to wear into the goddamn ground.
These are going to have holes.
Like I have a pair of desert boots that are like my fall shoes.
Okay.
That are just like, if I'm wearing them with pants, if it's cold outside and pants and possibly snowy, I'm wearing those.
Okay.
If I'm doing something where I don't care where I look, or I have a chance of stepping in some nasty stuff or getting them dirty, I have these pair of work shoes that are like kind of covered in paint, and they're just like very lightly, like couple of white specks from painting a fence, Huckleberry Finn style, or Mark Twain or whatever.
You good?
Yeah, I'm just burping. Just
okay. Do you know if you're dying on me here?
We're all dying.
I don't know the number for 911, so
374.
got it. Thank you.
86745309. I don't know. So and then I have like these pairs of shoes, which are my workout shoes, which everyone's like, those are your workout shoes. And for those of you watching at home, let's see if
here we go.
Yeah.
They're Toms,
disgusting.
everyone.
They're Toms. Because I'm just like, they're not running shoes,
But you need something to...
I need something because people don't realize that lifting shoes, like the best shoes for lifting are no shoes.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, why do you wear these to the gym? And I'm just like, oh, well, they don't have any sole.
Yeah.
And they're just
flat.
They're pretty much as non-existent to a sole as I can get without not actually wearing shoes.
Or sandals. But
that gets dangerous.
It does get dangerous. More dangerous than not having shoes on.
I think so, because I can trip over like sandals and flip-flops.
Exactly. I can trip over them just looking at them.
I don't trip over my own feet that much.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I know.
Lucky you.
Yeah. And then I just have like one pair of like nice like brown Vans, and I'm just like, if I'm not wearing any of the other three, I'm wearing those.
Good.
And then I have like 3 or 4 pairs of like nice shoes, because
you gotta look good.
You gotta look good, and it's also like, you can't have shoes that you wear for everything. Like you can't wear brown shoes when you're wearing a black suit, and then wear the same brown shoes with the brown suit, or like the brown suit and then the black suit, the black suit. You can't wear the brown with the black and the black with the brown and the brown with the navy and the navy with the blue and stuff like that. Know what I'm saying?
You can wear brown with blue.
I know you can wear brown with blue, but I'm just saying you can wear some kinds of brown with blue, and those aren't any of the same like shades of brown that I own. That's the thing.
So you have a dark brown.
50 shades of brown. Yeah, it's a dark brown. It's not those
it's
like
not
light.
like
It's not a light brown.
Almost a tan.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, those ones are nice, and you can wear them with everything. I don't own any of those. Okay, so back to so that's bringing it back. Uniqlo's opening 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
So I will be able to report back on it.
Okay, good.
Not next podcast, but the podcast
one after. Got it.
Okay, on to something that's very podcast relevant.
Go.
Heating the sound of your own voice.
Yes.
I don't believe. Well, there might be some people
who are just so narcissistic.
There's
that
like,
they love
well,
their
no,
own
there's
voice.
like, I feel like there's 3 categories of people.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people are in the second category. There's people who are hate the sound of their own voice when they're speaking it.
Okay.
And they're just like, they try and minimize
the amount
vocalizing any thought that they have.
Okay.
There are the people who like or are okay with the sound of their voice when they're speaking.
Yes.
And whenever they hear it played back to them, are just traumatized beyond belief.
They want to jump off a bridge.
That's most people.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who like the sound of their own voice when they're speaking, or are okay when they're speaking, and are also okay and or like it when they hear it played back to them.
So like a musician. It
like
would be in
technically 3. Not even. It's not even like something that it's like, oh, if you're a musician you like the sound of it. Apparently you just, if you like listen to your own voice, like if you're just like la da 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 da, and then you just like record that and then you play it back to yourself and hear yourself saying da, 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 and then you're like, okay, that's how I sound. And then if that happens enough times, like if you're a musician constantly in your home studio and you're like boop boopy doop, and then you're like, how did that sound? Boop boopy doop. It's like, that sounded shitty, but like it didn't sound shitty. It's just your own voice, and eventually you're just like, okay, yeah, that's how I sound. That's okay.
Run with it.
Run with it.
Go.
Run. Maybe.
Walk.
If you ran fast enough. Ran faster than the speed of sound.
Like Flash?
You could shout, run faster.
Let it all out.
And then just stop. And then let your voice catch back up to you. Okay. Geronimo! Oh, is that how I sound? Jesus
I did not
Christ.
know I sounded like that.
I sound like that.
Jeez.
God, what the... So yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Good. Why do old people like peanuts? I'm gonna let that sink in real quick.
Why do old people like what? Why? What? No, what? What? No.
I'll let you...
I haven't witnessed, I personally haven't paid attention enough to notice any Nordis.
Like
yeah,
it.
it's a very attentive tortoise. Nordis. He Nordises things. Nordis hasn't noticed anything about old people specifically preferring peanuts.
Well, where I work.
Because you work with a lot of old people, I would
do.
imagine, and they just go crazy over that.
Yeah, I have to clean out golf carts, and almost every time I'm doing it, I find about 4 packages of peanuts. like completely demolished.
Just destroyed.
Yeah. I don't understand why old people like peanuts so much.
My question is because you work for like golf course, country club type.
Golf course.
Just golf
Not a country club.
Just golf course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Public, by the way. No caddy. I can't help you out anyway.
Okay, so golf course.
Mm-hmm.
You work for one.
Mm-hmm.
Do the peanut... Okay, so when you find the packages of peanuts, are they pre-shelled? Are they, like, the kind that you have to, like, manually...
No.
Okay, good.
They're already...
That would be absolute
salted.
Terror with some arthritis-filled
Oh.
bones. If they like, oh, God, the peanuts fell in the 7th hole.
Fair enough.
Okay. Okay, good, because I was just like, that would get real messy.
Yeah, I don't understand why they love peanuts so much. Or just nuts in general, like walnuts, almonds, cashews.
Maybe it's a generational thing.
Maybe. Okay.
And
Did it remind you of something?
no, I just had another thought that I want to quickly jot down for us to speak about. There's maybe there's something about, like, you know, when I came back for the war, all they had for us was Hershey's Kisses and peanuts, and it's just like, now they're just like, oh, it reminds me of a better day when we had pensions and
okay.
the economy was good and you could go to the drugstore and buy a loaf of bread for a nickel. Maybe one day if we eat enough peanuts, we can get back to the day where you can buy a loaf of bread for a nickel, and then you can just go on down and you can say, hey, Miss Sally, I'm going to marry you someday. And she goes, well, Walter, I think that you are mighty fine.
Are you
Have
content
you
now?
heard? Have you heard any of the old people's stories of, like, how'd you guys meet? He's like, well, I walked up to her on the street and I said, hey, you want to go out? And she's like, no. And he's like, hey, you want to go out? And she's like, no. He's like, hey, you want to go out? And she's just like, yeah, let's get married. And, like, that's every single old, and the only variance I've heard in how old relationships started
Continue.
is how many tries it took for the guy to ask the
Yeah.
woman. It's literally like, some of them are just like the crotchety old mans. It's weird. It's like the nicer the guy is, the more times they had to ask. They're just like, well, hey there, Miss Sally. I sure do fancy you a lot. Would you mind going steady with me? And she's just like, no, you piece of shit.
No.
And then there's the guy who's just like sitting there just like watching TV. He's like, yeah, remember when I asked Martha, I was like, hey, Martha, you want to get hitched? And she was just like, yeah, fuck it. Like, that's always what it seems to be. Like, that's just what I've noticed in my experience with old people.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I can see that now. All right. I never put that two and two together. Like, okay.
That's just what I've noticed.
Okay.
That's my experience, young man, when I'm dealing with the elderly folk.
Oh, all right then.
Okay.
Next subject.
Next subject. Do you ever have moments when you're randomly lost? And I'm not saying you're like, where am I? But I'm just saying, like not the kind of lost where you are like aimlessly driving and then eventually you get somewhere and you're like, I don't know where I am.
Mm-hmm.
But moments when you're like, you know where you are? Like you might be like on your way from like school to your house, and it's, you know, it's a whatever road you take, it's a path that you take like, you know, 5 or 6 times every week, and so you know it, and then randomly you'll be like, where am I?
Yeah, especially at night.
Yeah,
you're used to seeing it
especially
during the
at night.
day, and then you're driving down that same road. You're like, oh,
yeah.
No, I don't
For
turn
me,
there. What the?
For me, it is mostly at night. It's definitely because it's like I've gotten a pretty good handle of like my delivery area.
Yeah.
But like sometimes I'll get out of somebody's house from giving them a nice steaming hot pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll get in my car and I can't see the mountains. And the mountains are my goddamn focal point. Like that's Like, that's something that I've had my entire life, and whenever I go to a vacation anywhere that doesn't have mountains or anything that doesn't have any, like, geographical feature, but, I mean,
Like, yeah.
yeah, like, obviously, anyone who knows their shit can use, like, the sun and whatnot.
Yeah.
But any, like...
We ain't scientists.
Yeah, like, you know, you go to, like, Seattle and you see, like, Mount Rainier or something that's, like, to the north or whatever direction that mountain is. You can always be like, okay, that's over there, so I know where I am in the grand scale. Like, there's been a couple times where I just, like, get away and I'm just like, I'm going down Harlan Street. And I'm like, which way am I going?
What state am I in?
What is it? And then I'll be like,
Mom!
Okay, now I realize where I am. Like it'll just be like, I'll be like, I know where I am. Like, driving there, I'll be like, I know where I am, I know where I am, I know where I am, I know where I am. Pull a U-turn, I know where I am. Go inside the house, come out, get back in my car, facing the same direction I was going, and go, where am I?
This looks familiar.
Where did I go?
Okay.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I can understand how you get randomly lost. I thought you said randomly lost in your own mind.
Well, that too, but I'm talking about geographical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, randomly lost in my own mind happens more than...
That's how I come up with all my fucking ideas. I'll be just like, yes.
Yes. Done. I have a random idea that I thought of. Couple back.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it?
Yes, it's a long...
Okay.
It's a little out there.
Okay. For the interest of time, I'm going to skip that point for right now. And I'm going to say, I think the newest craze, get it trending. We should use the term mallard like the duck, but use it as, like, what is that, a verb? An adjective?
Whatever.
I say that mallard because when you think about it objectively, it's kind of a great word. Should be used for getting drunk.
I'm getting mallard tonight,
like, dude,
man.
what's going on? It's like, nothing, man, just having a couple beers, planning on getting mallard. Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, it just sounds like something that, like, mallard sounds like the past tense of a poor decision. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like, it could be really the past tense of any decision that, like, sounded good and then turned out poor.
It sounds like it'd be a redneck or a Canadian thing. Getting mallard. Like, you go up to Canada and you hear, I'm getting mallard tonight, and you're like, does he mean drunk? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, good. All right.
Yeah, it sounds like something that people would be like, what are you even saying?
What does that mean, getting mallard? Are you catching ducks later? Or are you catching these hands later? I don't understand. I can see
and
that.
you just use it, you know, like, how was last night with Stacy? It was like, total mallard. Like, what?
So you can really put mallard in for anything.
Mallard is any slightly regrettable decision. I feel like anything that, whether you do regret it or not, kind of has, like, a little part of it that's like, you could regret it.
Yeah.
Like, getting drunk, it's like, no one ever gets really drunk and they're just like, I 100% do not regret this. There's always a little sliver of regret.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah. Just
it's
like,
in there.
Just like, didn't that chick have gonorrhea? Mallard, man. Like,
dude,
it's like, it's a fucking mallard. Like,
I was mallard last night. And it happened.
She and I mallard all night long. Like, that's all I'm saying. And now I have a kid with feathers.
Oh my.
That's all.
That's wrong.
That's a little weird.
That's a lot weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Don't.
Too late.
Okay. Here's some scientific knowledge.
I'm ready. I'm listening.
I had this idea the other night, and I promise you, I was not inebriated on any kind of substance.
You weren't mallard?
I was not mallard.
Okay, good.
Isn't it a weird coincidence?
Uh-huh.
Too much so, I think, to be a coincidence that, you know, there's like the man in the moon, like that. It looks like a face.
Yeah.
The moon has looked like a face longer than, and it's been like tidally locked with the planet, so it's always we're always seeing that same face. Longer than humans have had faces that look like ours. Like, much longer. Like, when you see that, you don't see, oh, a chimpanzee face.
Okay.
Oh, not a Neanderthal
I was
face.
with you. I was with you on this boat until about 20 miles ago.
Okay.
So
Okay, you fell out the boat. I'll circle right back around.
you're
for
gonna
you.
have to hurry up.
I
Sharks are
think
getting after me.
that the moon affected the way our faces look from an evolutionary standpoint because
I like this.
obviously we evolved to like have more expressive faces
Yeah.
than like any other creature to be able to like, you know, eyebrows and like
Or
winking
octopi,
and all this
but-
stuff, and yeah.
Octopi can change colors.
Yeah,
and shape.
but I feel like humans as a race, well, humans back when we were called other things in the evolutionary
Of course,
change before
yes.
we were humans, had faces that more resembled like monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, you know, it was the same thing where it's like, oh, you're a strong hunter. You know, like, I'm going to mate with you, and then we're going to create offspring that are genetically predisposed to be better hunters and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I feel like when we got to, like, faces and, like, social skills and all that stuff that influenced our growth, we started to, we being the race, started to slightly favor things that kind of reminded us of the moon. Because I feel like at a certain point we must have recognized, like, kind of, like, cross this, like, gap where our faces were already, like, kind of monkey-ish and stuff, and then just, like, slowly started to be like, and then we're like, hey, doesn't that look like Tim? And everyone's like, Tim must be the chosen one. Everyone mate with Tim. Everyone mate with Tim because he is
Find
the one.
Tim.
He is the one
Tim.
with the face like the god, like the god in the sky.
But what
and
about the goddess that looked like the sun?
You know, I don't think that the people who had no face actually ever, I don't think that they were quite as up there in the evolutionary food chain. The people who were just born with a blank slate.
Were they forgotten?
That glowed.
Exactly. How cool that would be.
Yeah, that would be really
You could use
useful.
them as your own flashlight.
Yeah, but evolutionary speaking,
Yeah.
glowing is kind of a really big no-no.
It's a no-no. Yeah.
It's like, why'd that species die out? Well, because they were nocturnal and they glowed. That's why they died out.
They died out pretty quick. 2 generations.
So yeah, because I was just thinking about it, I was like, it's way too big of a coincidence that this giant object, our only moon, that we see like almost like 29 out of 30 times
Yeah.
every night for the last 300
Million years.
I don't know, not however long the moon's been around, but however long it's looked like the face that we know it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird that now our faces look exactly like that.
Are you
like,
sure you weren't Mallard?
I wasn't Mallard. I was driving.
So you weren't Mallard driving?
No, I wasn't Mallard driving.
You
I
weren't-
don't duck and drive.
Okay, good. You weren't MIUing?
Mallard under the influence?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Were you willing to take a
I
lie
didn't
detector
have any
test?
quack that night.
All right, good. We don't need you to have quack.
No.
Well, we don't need quack in our life.
No, nobody. Like, what the quack?
What is quack?
What is quack? I mean, quack is anything that gets you Mallard.
Of course. Yeah.
Ducking is the act of getting Mallard.
Yes, I can
Let's
see
get
that.
totally ducked.
Let's get totally ducked tonight, man.
And it's
I'm
just
gonna
like-
get to the point of Mallard.
It's just like, have you seen Tim? Because he was ducking. It's like, yeah, dude, that guy's totally Mallard.
He's Mallard by now.
He's been ducking some quack and now he's Mallard. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast Duckcast. This is I'm Adam and this is Greg.
I'm Quig.
Quig and I'm
Madam.
Adam. Adam.
I'm gonna let you work through that.
Okay. I
All
don't
right,
know.
there
I
you
don't
go,
know.
big
I
guy.
don't know. Adam Anthony. All right. Okay.
All right, I got you.
So yeah, I was just like, I don't know. For me, it's way too big of a coincidence. I feel like it had to have some influence
Yeah.
in just the way that our faces look.
Okay, I can
That's
see
all I'm
that.
saying.
I can see that. You're good. No, I totally understand what you're saying.
Okay. Let's go to the thing that you were reminded of that you said was a little.
I don't know. I need to still process it. still before it has to do with dreams.
Wait, I'm sorry. You say you process dreams? You don't just forget them?
A little bit of both. It has to do with the alternate universe theory.
Okay.
Of course, if you know that one, where there's multiple universes of, so one universe he could be a wizard.
Now they know we're recording it on a phone. But I guess this is a good way to send us off on a high note.
Yes, of course.
On a Mallard note.
We're gonna get ducked later.
So ducked.
So ducked that
so
we get
ducked, but
Mallard.
don't duck and drive.
Oh God, no.
Never duck and drive.
Mallard and drive.
Okay, so we're just gonna let you guys go. I wonder what they were talking about. Well, tune in next week and you'll find out.
Come on back.
Okay, so this has been the podcast, Carcast.
Yes, it has. Slutcast, Whorecast.
I am Adam Lundy.
I'm Greg Powers.
And we are definitely getting you another podcast next week.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Hire me, Rooster Teeth. No.